Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. That over there is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. And it's going to be all football today because it is, we got the NFL wildcard playoffs coming up here starting on Saturday. And it is a busy, Monday of coach firings here in the NFL, starting last night with the Falcons and Raheem Morris. And we'll get into all the others here in just a couple of minutes. But Jared, first and foremost, Happy New Year. And just in case people were unaware, as you can see on the screen there, cutoff is Thursday morning for types of wishes. So Happy New Year.
Wait, now it's Thursday morning? I didn't realize we were talking about this before the show.
So I figured it should be Thursday because then that's one full week into the. So that's it.
I think that's probably overdoing it just a smidge, but okay. I mean, I gotta be honest. Like at this point, I'm not wishing anybody a happy New Year anymore. But also, like all the days just blend together at this point. Like, I had no idea today was the 5th until like I went and looked. So it just kind of is what it is.
And here's the other thing. Like, if I guess the overall point being is like, if I happen to run into you, let's say Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and I haven't seen you since last year, I don't want to hear Happy New Year. It's not Happy New Year anymore. We are well into the year. Anyway, but that's not what we're here to do. We're here to rip cards and talk sports. Today is going to be an all football edition. A lot to get. I know there's a lot of hockey to talk about. Olympic rosters came out and all that. We'll get to that next week. But this is, the NFL regular season's over. Playoffs are starting. We got some good wild card matchups this year. So excited for that. We'll get to all those things later on. But I guess we should start with the NFL coach firings here because, like we said, it started with Raheem Morris last night with the Falcons, understandably so. I know they won 4 in a row down the stretch, but you lose to the Jets and you get swept by the Panthers, which I know they're the division champs, but like, are they really? Like, is anybody a champion in that division? I know technically they are, but like, come on now. Moving on, Raiders with Pete Carroll, no surprise there. Experiment didn't work. They're going to be flipping a new page anyway. Browns let Stefanski go. Giants, I know Mike Kafka is probably not sticking around. Aaron Glenn, it's been reported that he's going to be coming back if things can change. I can make it's not hard to make an argument for why he should be gone, but I can make an argument for keeping him. And apparently Todd Bowles is safe, but that was before, that was a report I saw before they got ousted by the victory of the Atlanta Falcons in a completely unrelated football game.
It always strikes me how unserious some of these teams are in the sense that they keep a lot of these coaches long past their expiration date. I'm not going to argue the Aaron Glenn thing with you, even though I don't think he's the answer for the Jets. Like the Todd Bowles thing, for example, I think we've seen now definitively between both the Jets and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he's a terrible head coach. Great defensive coordinator, and you can certainly win games with him as your defensive coordinator. The Bucs certainly did when they won a Super Bowl with him, even though I probably credit Tom Brady a little more than I credit Todd Bowles there. But their defense was really good during their championship run. But like you have that, and then like you could probably still see some more NFL head coaching vacancies. Like we don't know what the Ravens are going to do yet. There's obviously some disconnect there between John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. And I can tell you right now as a Giants fan, if they fired John Harbaugh, he'd be number 1 on my list. Like right to the top. Like just fucking hire him. Like I don't need to go through the dog and pony show with the rest of it. But like if the Bills don't make a deep run, like is this it for Sean McDermott in Buffalo? I think it's a reasonable question. So we can certainly get into that with some of these other teams that have not announced a decision yet.
So let me say about the Jets, and I know people want Aaron Glenn out, and I get it. No interceptions the entire season. How does that even happen?
How does that happen?
What do they have? 4 or 5 turnovers, which is one of the lowest totals of like the last 40, 50 years. So like even that's like forget about the no interception thing. I was telling my buddy Pete, he was a teacher at a middle school. I said, give me 11 of your best schoolyard football players, and their ball hawking would probably get them a turnover. Just like excited kids trying to make a play. How does that happen over anyway?
I'm just imagining it like during the home run derby when the kids are running around the outfield, like all trying to snipe the ball from each other. It'd probably be the same thing.
And I guarantee you in a 17-game season, you get 1 interception that way. So let's try it next year. This is what the Jets are going to put and I know it's hyperbole when people are like, oh, this is the worst season in team. No, this for the Jets, and this is saying something. This was a bad, bad season, and like I understand yes, it sounds like I'm making the argument to fire Glenn. If this was like a Pete Carroll situation where he's an old guy, he knows how he's going to coach, he's not going to really change or adapt too much out of his comfort zone. Because even though he's got a youthful energy, I mean, the guy is in his 70s. There's only so much somebody of that age is capable of. They're not going to change their ways that often. You're the Raiders. You're turning a new page. You start with a new guy. You tried to bring in Carroll, didn't even show any flashes of, oh, this could work. You move on. Aaron Glenn is a new coach.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We have breaking news here on Rip N Riff. I don't know if we have like a little sounder and whatnot. The Cardinals have fired Jonathan Gannon, so add him to the list as well.
So, I mean, that was a name that we didn't get to of potential fires. We hadn't gotten that far yet, but that makes sense. And then, Kyler Murray going to be interesting to see what happens there. But just back to the Jets for a minute, like changing coaches every year doesn't help. And I almost think when you take a guy like Glenn, who's never coached before, as a head coach, at least, you got to give them 2 years. You have to give them 2 years. And then or at least get them into a second season. Now, I understand it's a little different because we're changing quarterbacks here. It's going to be, we have a high pick. We get Mendoza or trade. I mean, there's going to be plenty of time to debate all that and discuss all that. So maybe you want to flip the page, but I mean, unless you're going to go out and get like a John Harbaugh type if he's out there, but even that, maybe he's too old, what the Jets are trying to do. So like, I don't know. It's just one thing I do know is changing coaches every year doesn't help either. Like that just doesn't.
No, it does not help. So it kind of is what it is, and we'll see what else happens around the league. Like we haven't even gotten like Cincinnati keeping Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin in place there, which seems questionable until you remember the fact that Mike Brown's the cheapest owner in sports, and the Bengals have a history of not firing Marvin Lewis as long as they did. So why wouldn't Zach Taylor be given the same sort of lengthy leash that his predecessor got? So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't think you'll see maybe any more outside of that. I mean, if the Dolphins were going to do something with McDaniel, they would have. And like the way they play, like it was the Dolphins and the Sabres, to me, like it's so clear that like they get rid of the GM and then they go on a run. I mean, the Sabres probably a little bit more of a successful run than the Dolphins. Still, yeah.
See, you say that, but like the Dolphins are going to hire a new GM. I mean, if the new GM comes in and says they want to hire their own coach, I would think that they would get the leeway to do so.
So yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too. Are we going to see any GM changes? Like you mentioned, the Giants. So far, nothing with Shane. But I mean, if you're going to do something, you're going to do it. But I don't know. We'll see. But why don't we talk? Let's start ripping some packs here, and as teams come up, we can talk playoff matchups, or if there's a coaching thing there. I think it's time for us to get to our leadoff pack. All right. So first up, Jared's got some 2024 Panini Encore. I have a couple of different 2024s here today, and then coming up later, some 1993 Bowman. We didn't necessarily do a pack ripping lineup today, so if Jared gets that ready, let's flash it up on the screen there. We got basically the rookies we're looking for here, the Caleb Williams, Bo Nixes, and Brock Bowers, Drake Mays of the world there, and both our 2024 Panini Encore and Panini Phoenix packs there. And then I got some old school Bowman, and this is how you know it's old cards, because the marquee thing there includes one special engraved foil card in every pack. Whoa. And there's some definite bricking going on there. I can feel it already.
Like you sound like Emperor Palpatine is like, I can feel it, or something like Star Wars related. So like not Palpatine, but you know what I'm talking about.
Because one of the cards is like off from like the rest of the deck, and when I try to like slide it back, it don't give. So
you try to jiggle it, it won't jiggle.
Exactly. That's a problem.
Oh man, yeah.
Jiggle it more than 3 times. Let's get to
All right, we start with the Las Vegas Raiders with Zamir White here, and obviously the Raiders announced that they will be terminating Pete Carroll, and they'll also be getting the #1 pick in the draft. So congratulations, Fernando Mendoza. I hope you like Vegas.
I mean, here's the thing too. Like whoever's going to take, like that's almost like a Cowboys-esque position where it's like, you be ready to take that on. Be ready to take all of that, dysfunction, we'll say. Like, it's been a while,
Right.
Raiders haven't
Right.
been a consistent franchise in a long time.
And Adam Schefter literally just tweeted like a few minutes ago, like how the Raiders recent history of like head coaching, like 2021, John Gruden resigning, 2022, Josh McDaniels hired, 2023, Josh McDaniels out, 2024, Antonio Pierce hired, 2025, Antonio Pierce out, and then Pete Carroll hired and fired. So this whole one and done cycle with the Raiders needs to break at some point. Like at some point, they need to figure out what the hell they're doing.
This is karma for Rich Bisaccia, as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh, yeah, that's a fair point. But you know what? Bisaccia would have been fired by now too, though.
Of course, but like, you had a likable guy that got the team to win. Like, maybe go the other direction once. Maybe go with the boring guy. I know you're the Raiders. Just win, baby. Silver and black. Al Davis, John Madden, Kenny Stabler, all that. But like, maybe the boring hire is the way you need to go for once.
All right. Speaking of boring, maybe not boring. You got George Kittle. He's probably the opposite of boring. He's one of the more bigger personalities in the league. They'll be getting ready for the marquee Sunday afternoon wild card matchup against the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Living in the Bay Area, I'd say he's the second most popular athlete behind Steph Curry in the region. I mean, that would be my estimation.
Of like currently active athletes.
Currently active players, yeah. I would say he's number 2 behind Curry.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we got ourselves Bijan Robinson, who nearly single-handedly destroyed my fantasy championship game a couple weeks ago, but fortunately that did not come to fruition.
Yeah, that was I didn't watch the first half of that game. I took my daughter out for like a hike in the afternoon that day because I'm on the West Coast. But yeah, like just coming back and seeing the stat line he was putting up, and then like early on the duel was nothing. It was like, oh boy. Like,
yeah, that was a huge stat line, and it could have been a lot worse. Like just watching the game and seeing the Rams miss tackles left and right, and like they were fortunate that Bijan didn't put up like 300 yards on him that day.
Well, the Rams go to Carolina for a rematch of a loss from weeks ago. We'll get into that a little bit later. What do you got coming up here?
Let's see. We have a Jesse Bates card here.
Another Falcon.
Another Falcon, and obviously they're making a lot of changes. I don't think that head coaching vacancy is all that attractive. I will say that because it's a murky quarterback situation. You're inheriting Kirk Cousins and his large contract. You're inheriting Michael Penix, who they didn't whoever the next regime is, they didn't draft him. So, and he's coming off a torn ACL as well to boot, and they don't have a first round pick this year because of the trade last year.
I'll say this: that defense looks really good. So to me, that's a ripe situation for bringing in a head coach that's very offensive minded, that's smart enough to hire a strong defensive coordinator, give him the keys, and say, "I'll be on the headset, but you're handling everything," kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what the Falcons need. If Penix is good, because that's the other thing. When Penix comes back, they need somebody like that. If they got to at least see it through here with him, and give him one more chance.
Yep. So we go right from that to head-to-head card here with Randy White and Craig Morton here. So if you want to reminisce about Super Bowl 12, be my guest.
Shout out Dave LeBrecker. I'm sure he was like a kid watching on the floor. One of the old.
He might like TVs. That card. I might gift that to him.
Yeah, like I could see him sitting on the floor, one of those old school wood TVs. With the dial there. Got to smack it sometimes to get it going. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that the wood age because all your like electronics were made out of wood, like that, and like your
the wood paneling floors. Those were also very popular. I know in my house it was all wood paneling on the first floor.
Yeah, it's funny. I was in somebody's basement the other day. It still had the wood paneling up.
Like it's like
stepping back in time.
That feels like you are going back. I guess 30 or 40 years when you think about it now. But anyway, back to.
And last but not least, Brock Bowers rookie card here. His season came to a premature end there, but
nice pull though.
Nice pull, and he's still going to be one of the elite players in the league at his position. So kudos to him, I guess.
And I guess that's the thing about bringing in like a Fernando Mendoza, like whatever rookie quarterback comes in, he'll at least have the security blanket of one of the top 2 tight ends in the NFL, be able to, as a security blanket, to get the ball to.
All right, we got a thick boy in this pack, so brace yourselves there. We'll probably have a patch card here. So we start this pack with Pat Freiermuth, the tight end for the Steelers, who had a big game yesterday in their division clinching win over the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't know if I've already mentioned on the show today because I have the short-term memory of a goldfish, but I'll say it again. If the Baltimore Ravens are foolish enough to let John Harbaugh go, he is #1 on my Giants head coaching wish list.
All right, now let me ask you this. I want you to take your Giants fan hat off and just as a Raven fan or somebody that would pay attention. If you had to choose between Harbaugh and Jackson, who would you pick? Like that's like a thing. Like it's going to be one or the other.
I'd probably pick the player because I think it's harder to find an elite level quarterback than it is an elite level head coach.
And there's somebody out there that'll want to come in and be able to take, I don't know who that is right now. I really got to look at the landscape who's available. But yeah, because it's not just as simple as like, oh, Carroll's available. So which of the vacant teams are going to, no. Like,
right. But to me, like if you're hiring John Harbaugh, like that's instant credibility in your franchise. Like, all right, like once you finally get like the infrastructure in place, like you're in a position to win 10, 11, 12 games every year and be a contender.
yeah, like you bring, like you said, like the Giants, a Harbaugh would be a smart hire because that's exactly what they need. Like a guy to put it all together.
Right, exactly. And he's got enough clout where you can tell ownership, yeah, you get rid of this GM, let me bring in my own guy, and I think they might do it.
I think if you're the Giants, and this was something like, one of the differences between the Jets and the Giants, because, the Jets just, there's no, like, at least the Giants, you look at that team, you're like, they could go 8-9, or maybe even potentially sniff a wild card spot next year if things go right. If they get some bounces, like the Commanders got everything went their way last year. Broncos got a lot as good a team as they are. They got some friendly last second bounces too, or things go their way at the end. Giants get a few more of those. Like they're close. They just need the right coach to bring it in. But like,
yep.
At least there's that to be positive.
Yep. All right, we move on. We got ourselves Terry McLaurin here with the Commanders. Commanders did a nice job denying the Eagles the #2 seed, despite the Bears also losing at home to the Detroit Lions. And I feel like that Bears loss is a little worse only because they did try and play their starters. The Eagles really didn't, so they kind of got the result they I don't want to say they asked for, but they were sort of pursuing. So kind of is what it is there.
I mean, Sirianni said it in his post game. He was like, like somebody asked him if he regret. He's like, no, of course not. It's like, we're content. He's like, I would rather go into the playoffs healthy than anything else. That is my #1 concern. And I tend to agree. When you're a team like the Eagles, fresh off a championship, you've made some deep playoff runs before that. Let them do what they got to do. They know what they're doing.
All right, go Niners. Hopefully they win that game this week.
Agreed.
All right, so before our thick boy, we got Derek Brown here. I'm going to do the slow reel because I want to see what the thick boy is here. So
it's going to be a Raheem Morris.
With all due respect, I don't care about. I don't care about that. So let's see. We have. It's definitely a patch.
Brandon Ayuk
patch. How about that? That's interesting. And that's a big patch.
Not only is that a big patch, but you get all that. Some 49er fan will want that. I mean, well, maybe not anymore, actually. A Brandon Ayuk collector, let's say, will want that.
Yeah,
a casual Niner fan is probably done with it. That's a nice card right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that actual patch
I think that's part of the U for Ayuk.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You're probably right. That's probably from the nameplate on the back would be my guess.
So I would make sure you somebody. I mean, granted, this is not the best probably time to pull. You probably wanted to pull that Ayuk card this previous summer, but there's an IU collector that'll want that. Is a nice patch card.
Yeah, of all the patch cards we've gotten, first of all, it's a bigger patch than what we're used to seeing.
Game used jersey, cards.
But yeah, that is certainly that's certainly a patch, and that's numbered 26 out of 35. So there you go. Part of their winning materials series.
That's a nice pull. That's worth it right there.
Yep, we got a rookie Aura. A rookie aura Jaden Daniels card.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Go back to you said go Niners in the game against the Eagles. I mean, the Niners finished 12-5 with their only losses coming to teams like the Jaguars, Seahawks, like Texans. Like, imagine if they had IU. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice. And that's one of the things that concerns me about this game against the Niners, because you rattle off a bunch of teams there. The Seahawks, the Texans, and what do they have in common? Elite defense. And you could say the
Jaguars.
Eagles as well. So, yeah, you could say the Eagles as well fall into that category as well. So And that's one thing that certainly concerns me with
Rams.
that, because I mean it's the Niners offense against the Eagles defense, and I feel like generally speaking, defense, I know it's a cliche, defense wins championships, right?
Yeah.
So
But I'll say this: if McCaffrey goes off, that's the difference maker. If they can figure out a way to get McCaffrey and let him do his thing, I think is the difference right there. Like you
and
said, even if
it would be nice if they had Trent Williams back. It would be nice if they had Ricky Pearsall back. So we'll see. Eric All Jr. Rookie card for that last card of that pack. I got one more pack to go here.
there we go.
And I noticed when I was looking through my stock, I'm gonna have to get some more packs because I'm starting to run low. Fortunately, yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. Tony Pollard here with the Tennessee Titans. Really strong finish to the season there for Mr. Pollard. Dalton Kincaid with the Bills. The Bills have a first round matchup this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. By the way, shout out to the AFC South avoiding the 4:30 Saturday window for seemingly the first time ever. That'll be the Panthers and LA Rams.
Because that's probably the one matchup that could go below and listen, I'm not
the NFC South. The NFC South's worse.
And that's the thing. That's not to say the quality of the teams. The Jaguars and the Texans, but in terms in terms of a ratings thing, casual, Jaguars and the Texans don't do as well as the Bears and the Packers are saying.
I will say the Rams kind of drew the short end of the stick there. You got the Panthers on regular. Yeah, the Panthers on regular rest because they played Saturday. The Rams have the short week and they have to travel cross country. So
I will talk more when we go through the games later, but I think the Rams are freaks off.
All right, Derrick Henry, who for whatever reason the Ravens forgot about in the second half yesterday. A little bit weird there, but it is what it is. By the way, shout out. I know I'm just waxing poetic about John Harbaugh. Did not love the decision there, by the way, to kneel and not try to, run the ball and try to get like 5 yards closer to for that,
which would have made a difference.
Goal attempt. Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're one of these people like putting death threats and stuff on Tyler, you're a piece of shit scumbag, and the worst is not bad enough for you. Like seriously, like he's a rookie kicker, and it's tough to kick in that stadium. Like, and also maybe like you said, when you have a running back like Derrick Henry, you don't mean to tell. Even if he got 2 yards, 3 yards, you're telling me 6 feet, 9 feet don't make a difference. Come on now.
I mean, I've been told that my entire life. Xavier Legette rookie card here. Let's see, a CD Lamb future card. And since pulled one member of my dynasty team there, why not another one? A Malik Washington rookie card there as well. So that'll do it for the Panini Encore 2024 packs.
Got the NFL Network on here just in case. There's no new firings yet, but since the ones we talked about, or
I mean, the day is young. They call it well, I'm not going to say what they call it, but they call it the name they call it for a reason.
Similar to the stock market crash day. But nonetheless, let's go from one Panini to another. Let's go to the Phoenix of the world. Let's get here. Let's go Rip Cam going. Yeah, it's gonna be. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of new names come up this year for like coach vacancies. Like I know McCarthy's out there, but I feel like you're gonna get a lot of different stuff, college stuff, coordinators kind of hires.
See, you say that, but then like I saw the tweet earlier on like who the Titans are planning on interviewing, and it's like a who's who of like retreads or names you've heard of before, like Vance Joseph. It's like we've already seen Vance Joseph as a head coach. Lou Anarumo, and there was a couple other coordinators there where they've definitely been in the cycle the last few years. I think Matt Nagy was one of them. It's like I wouldn't hire Matt Nagy. So I don't know.
Speaking of Matt Nagy, we'll start off with a Bears card. Keenan Allen from his short time in Chicago there, now back with the Chargers. They got to go to New England on Sunday Night Football. Bears will be playing the Packers on Saturday night at Soldier Stadium. Lost to the Lions yesterday. There's David Montgomery. We go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there with Shad White. And yeah, like Todd Bowles, I don't know. I mean, that we, getting a time machine 2 months ago, if we would have told you that the Buccaneers would lose the division on the last week because the Falcons Saints would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? And yeah, just a total collapse. I know they weren't healthy, but like I've seen coaches get fired for less, and it's like it's time to make change.
Yeah, 100%. They have too much talent to. I mean, Tampa's probably the most talented team in that division. So the fact that like you can't even go 500 in that division, let alone win it, is pretty pathetic.
And we close off pack one, a lackluster pack there. There's a Blake Corum rookie card. Not the first time we've pulled a Blake Corum rookie card. See what the Rams do this weekend in Carolina. We're going to get to that in a little bit here. All right. See, I know you'd say like the Falcons, like they're a mystery position, but I mean, you still got a receiver like Drake London that when he's healthy, one of the best in the game when he actually gets on the field. Let's see here. We got this is a wide receiver heavy pack here. We got Ladd McConkey with the Chargers heading over to play New England. Good defensive effort by the Chargers yesterday in Denver, but Trey Lance is Trey Lance. So go.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a tough spot for the Chargers going across country and playing in Foxborough on Sunday night. That feels like a game that's got like 27-10 written all over it.
It's been so long since the Patriots have had a marquee playoff football game at Foxborough. It's been what, like maybe 4 years? It's such a long time. Such a long time. Anyway.
I know there's 8-year-olds who've no recollection of the Patriots dynasty.
Yeah, I know. Poor kids. Jalen Waddle with Miami Dolphins. See if he'll still be there next season. There's a name that was, before the Dolphins finished with a pretty decent run at the end, barring yesterday's result in England. See what happens there. And we have our rookie rising, Will Shipley, Philadelphia Eagles. So 2 packs in. Jared's definitely got the pull of the day. Probably ain't going to get it out of this pack, but we'll see.
That attitude, we're not.
All right. So we start off. We've got a lot of Chargers today here. We got Justin Herbert there with the Chargers. He's going to, he didn't play yesterday. He'll be ready to go for the wild card game. He's going to have to be, he's going to have to manage the game well if they have any chance. He can't be turning the ball over.
And I'm sure when they lose the game, he'll get a complete pass like he always does.
So for whatever reason, we got Dallas Turner rookie card there from the Vikings. That as bad as they were this year, they still had a 9-8 record. So go figure. And Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, they won a bunch of games against bad teams down the stretch. So
hey, he's what it is. Still above 500 for a team that was basically led by J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz, and Max Brosmer. I mean, that's 9-8 when you got those 3 at quarterback. Not terrible. That's a good defense. Danielle Hunter, speaking of good defenses there, pictured with the Texans. Texans, people are all over that defense. They think that's, they're going to carry them. And I think it'll at least get them to the first round. And then we'll see how the matchups fall in round 2. And we close.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to beat the Steelers on that Monday night game. So
sure, for sure. I think we're a lot of people are on that wavelength there. And then we got Terry McLaurin, second one we've pulled today out of the Commander pack there. So there we go. Next one more football pack to go here now. Bowman football, and listen, it's very possible. Oh yeah. So it opened, not too bad. All right. So little 93 Bowman here. We'll try our best to not have any sort of damage due to the bricking. We start with a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Broderick Thomas and the old creamsicles. We could have maybe seen those one more time in the playoffs. Unfortunately, we won't. These are nice looking cards for a 93, especially for Bowman, which is usually more of a lower end card, we'll say.
Yeah, we got robbed of that, I suppose, because I don't know. I mean, the Bucs would have been. Yeah, they probably would have worn the creamsicles.
I could see that they would have had one home game. It would have been against the Rams. Would have looked nice. We got Eric Hill with the Cardinals here, who we talked about earlier. Now have a coaching vacancy. We'll see what they do with that. There's Jared sneezes. Bless you. We got Clyde Simmons, one of the better pass rushers from his era, and a strong part of that Eagles defense from the late '80s and early '90s. They wore their Kelly Greens yesterday. They look good.
Yeah, they did, and they also lost in them, which always brings a little bit of joy to my heart whenever they lose. So
I know you don't like them, and that's fine. But I still love the jerseys. Let's see here. We got Ashley Ambrose with the Colts. I got to give the Colts credit, man. To go into Houston, a game Houston needed to win. To they needed to win, but they want to make sure they finished as either with a shot at the division or at least the top wild card. And Riley Leonard and the Colts gave them everything they could. That game went down to the end.
They did. I don't know if you want to make any sweeping judgments on Riley Leonard off of one start, but he did look good. You got to give him credit there. I mean, it does feel like they kind of wasted their time with Philip Rivers the last few weeks if that they had Ryan Leonard just sitting there the entire time, but it is what it is.
And I know the Texans pulled some of their starters like once they saw what the result, because I mean, D'Amico Ryans even said it. He's like, at a certain point, you see what the score of the Jaguars Titans game is. It's like, all right, like
it's not happening. Let's be smart about it. No, I get that.
So maybe it's a little different if they play their starters to the end. But hey, the fact that the Colts even gave them a fight on the road, that's a testament to Shane Steichen. We got Dalton Hilliard with the Saints there. Tyler Shuck throws a key interception late that maybe keeps the Buccaneers out of the playoffs. We got Sam Mills, part of the Dome Patrol linebacking crew there, one of the better guys, also a Carolina Panther. Saints finished strong. I mean, listen, I know it's a weak division, but make an argument against any of these teams to win the division next year. You can't. Everybody's in the mix for the NFC South.
My argument against the Saints would be their cap situation is still pretty fucked. And like they've been borrowing against the cap for so long in future years that like eventually that's going to come to roost. And I feel like while they have the quarterback on the rookie contract, who, by the way, yeah, I know he showed some promise, but I don't know that I would be buying Tyler Shuck stock long term, like past next season. Like this would be the time for them to like sort of take their salary cap medicine and get their books in order. But I don't know. The Saints are probably going to do what the Saints do and probably just continue putting debt on the credit card.
He's done enough to come into camp next year as at least like, all right,
as a starter,
it's your job to lose. You're like, I don't think, we'll see what happens in the draft. I don't think they actively go out and get a quarterback if one falls into their lap. Maybe it's a different story. But yeah, I think he showed enough that it's like, all right, and maybe that's with, Kellen Moore, there, running the show.
But they also have to rebuild like a whole bunch of different areas. Like they got a lot of older players in key areas. Like Alvin Kamara's getting up there. Cameron Jordan's getting up there. They could use an injection of youth on the offensive line. They could certainly use another receiver opposite Chris Olave.
They need
like Taysom Hill's going to retire. So I don't know. It kind of is what it is. I don't think he's announced he's going to retire, but I think the sense is that Taysom Hill's probably going to retire.
Yeah, I mean, that guy plays a hard game every game. He plays all over the place. We got the Vikings here with Everett Lindsey. Looks like a big old offensive guard from his day.
Oh, that he does. Look at the face mask on that helmet.
All right, let me ask you this. We got a Kelvin Pritchett Lions card. Is this year a disappointment for the Lions, or do they get a transitional year? Because it is tough to lose both your offensive and defensive coordinator in the same year. So that is tough. And you look at the division, Chicago is, I know some people thought they would have a big year, but they were better than a lot of us expected, even if we thought they'd sniff the playoffs. Green Bay was just good enough. Minnesota, we discussed earlier, went 9-8 with those three quarterbacks. It's a soft schedule, but still, I think next year, if they continue to play this way, then I would worry.
I mean, you probably give them a little bit of a pass, but like, I don't know. Like if I feel like the Lions were being talked about as a potential 1 seed going into the year, even with losing their coordinators, because of like the amount of talent that they have on the roster. And this not making the playoffs is not acceptable. So like, and I feel like the Lions have been good enough now the last few years where like we've sort of raised the floor on like what they're supposed to be. So I don't know how you view this year as anything other than a disappointment if you're a Lions fan.
Fair enough. I would I give I mean, the fact that the Packers got in at 9-7-1, I was against the Cowboys. That would be the thing that sticks in my craw. Like we got swept by that team. We couldn't beat that team once because then they'd be in the playoffs. So yeah. Let's see here. We got let's see. We're gonna have a few Broncos coming up here. We talk about them as well. We got Simon Fletcher there. Then we got the one and only Steve Atwater and those classic orange crush and baby blue, powder blue, we'll say, Bronco helmets there. One of the harder hitters of all time. You all know that.
They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Playing like both them and Seattle getting the #1 seed in their respective conferences.
Bad news for everybody else.
I'm not sure there's 2 NFL teams. Maybe you put Kansas City on that list as well. I'm not sure there's two franchises that have a better home field advantage than Denver and Seattle. Denver playing the altitude in that building, and then Seattle with the amount of noise that they can generate, and just those are intimidating environments to play in, and those are few and far between now in modern sports. So I would not be surprised if that was our Super Bowl matchup. I know it sounds chalky. Yeah, I'm going to pick the 1 seed in both the leagues, but like I could very easily see both those teams winning, 2 playoff games and meeting the Super Bowl.
We got a few more cards to go, but then we're going to do our picks for Wild Card Weekend. But that's what we're going to do to wrap the show. Is we're going to build our brackets to see who we got and who's winning. Why not? Now we're sticking with the Broncos here. We got Hall of Fame tight end and star podcaster Shannon Sharp. That's a good shot of him there. That's an intimidating look, by the way. Imagine getting that glance from across the line.
Very photogenic of him. That just happened to turn and be facing the cameraman at the time he snapped that photo. I know he's not looking at the cameraman. He's probably looking at like the defensive coverage or whatever he is. But yeah, that's a good photo.
That's a good job by the cameraman, is what that is, getting that perfect look and all that. And then we have his evil twin brother, Luis Sharp, tackle for the Cardinals there.
I thought you were going to say Sterling Sharp for a second. I was like, I don't think Sterling's evil.
Oh, this is the evil other brother. Sterling is a legit brother. He gets in the Hall of Fame too. But yeah, Luis, the evil twin, the evil other guy.
Okay.
There, who knew? And we closed the pack. We talked about the Seahawks and their dominant, home abilities there. And hey, they're also a great road team too. Not that they need to go on the road. They won't need to go on the road unless it's to fly to San Francisco or Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. This was the foil stamped card that we talk about, and former first overall pick Rick Mirer. So if you're a Seahawks fan, shout out Scott Engel. Maybe that's part of his collection. Maybe I'll have to send him a picture of that and see if he wants
it. Yeah, you'll just have to warn him about all the bricking.
Yeah, I mean, it survived. It did good. It did all right. It could have been worse. But there we go. A little. We went.
It could have been worse. That could be the motto for Rip N Riff. It could have been worse.
Could have been. It was not. And luckily, we already know the poll of the day. Jared's Brandon Ayuk card. That's just a sweet little guy right there. Nice pack, a nice card, I should say, and we were able to flip that for something nice. But it's time to get to our. Oh, you got something?
Yeah. Before we do this, can I kill Russell Wilson for like 90 seconds?
Absolutely. The floor is yours.
All right, Russell Wilson, that fraud. I guess talked to the media this morning and basically revealed that he had a quote unquote torn hamstring suffered during the last practice before week 2, which, if you remember, was that Dallas game where he absolutely lit it up. And by the way, ran for 24 yards in that game. So like how torn is your hamstring really? But I digress. And that he wound up training at the Dallas Mavericks, rehabbing at the Dallas Mavericks facility, and everything with Russ has some sort of agenda to it, and which I don't quite get. I don't know if he's trying to either make himself like look more heroic and say, "Hey, this is why I played poorly before I got benched," or if he's trying to like subtly like bury the Giants on the way out. Because if you say that, I had this injury, which by the way wasn't on any Giants injury report, because I guess nobody from the Giants supposedly knew about it, and I'm sure the league's going to investigate it. That obviously makes the Giants look bad on the way out. I'm going to say this right now. Russell Wilson has played his final NFL game. Like, there's just so much, like, I don't know that he's necessarily a bad guy, but there's just so much bullshit attached with this guy that you can see why the Broncos, you can see why the Seahawks moved on. You can see why the Broncos wanted nothing to do with him once Sean Payton got there. You can see why the Steelers moved on, even though they won their 9 games or whatever it was last season. And you see why the Giants are moving on now, obviously, because they got their quarterback of the future. So I'm saying it right now, Russell Wilson's played his final NFL game. I don't think anyone's going to sign him next year because he frankly just did not look good enough. And he was terrible in the other 2 games that he played. And even as like a stopgap starter, I feel like there's better options out there if you want somebody like that rather than bringing this guy in.
Here's the thing with Russell Wilson too. Nobody ever speaks positively about him as former teammates. And like, yeah, there are people, everybody, there are going to be people that like you. There are going to be people that don't like you. I have never heard a former player or a teammate of Russell Wilson come out and be like, nah, that man, he gets a bad rap. He's actually like, and like you said, everything with him, like he's got like this alternative motive, I guess. Like, you know, like I
Right.
don't. It's just like he doesn't do himself any favors, and he's weird. He isolates himself. He's not one of the guys. Like, yeah, he doesn't do him. It's not like this guy. It's not like he tries and like he gets bullied. Like, oh, look at this loser trying to. Just It's just something about him that he's just never fit in. And yes, when you're winning like he was in Seattle, a lot of that stuff gets ignored because winning cures a lot. But the second you aren't winning anymore, go to other team. You go to Denver with, let's ride. Like, like this dude. And like you said, nobody's gonna. He's not even close to good enough for an NFL team to be like, all right, whatever. He could still be a serviceable backup and teach. He's done. But plenty of Russell Wilson talk there. Let's get to the wild card weekend. All right, it's time for NFL wildcard picks. We're just going to go in order of the actual games here. Let's start off with the Rams at the Panthers. 10.5-point favorites on the road. The Rams are total is 46.5. This opened up at 10, and I think it's gone up a half a point since then. So any thoughts on this? Because I will, and just to update our records from last week, Jared went 3-0. I went 2-1. So, and over the last 2 weeks, I'm 5-1 and Jared's 5-1. So we've dialed it in late in the season here, maybe. You got so back to Rams Panthers. I know the Panthers beat them last time. How many times is Matthew Stafford going to throw an interception in the red zone twice? And I think you got, the fact that the Rams went and lost to the Falcons, it's like, all right, maybe they just don't travel going east that well, which would be an argument against what I'm saying here. But I think the Rams are a supremely better team. Revenge on their minds. They've got they are not getting eliminated by the Carolina Panthers in the first round. And I think they want to send a message that they're back. They get Devontae Adams back this week. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams to cover 10.5 here.
I agree the Rams are going to win the game. I tend to think it's too many points. I think if anything in this game, I'd play the over 46.5. I feel like it'll probably be a little bit of a shootout. I don't know that I trust either one of these defenses. But if I were going to take either side with the points, I'd probably grab the 10.5 with the Panthers. And yeah, you're right. Like I don't see Matthew Stafford turning the ball over 3 times against them, but like it was also sloppy conditions last time they played, and I guess they're already saying there might be rain in the forecast for this game. The Panthers have an edge here in the sense that A, they don't have to travel, and B, they're playing a normal rest while the Rams get the short week and they have to fly cross country. So you factor that in as well. Plus, you're getting that extra half point as well. So, I mean, you could win Rams 34-24 and still be a loser there laying the 10.5 with the Rams. So, would not be surprised if the game was something like that. Would not be surprised if there were a little backdoor shenanigans where the Panthers came back from behind to make it respectable. So, I would lean Panthers 10.5, but I'm going to take the over in this one.
Panthers just played in a rough, rainy environment on grass Saturday and did not do well there either. So I know things.
Well, they're experienced now. Now they're used to it.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think the Rams. I think we're going to see how strong the NFC West is and how weak the NFC South is in this game. Wild card round now. Saturday night, the Packers at the Bears. Kind of figured that makes sense. Short travel for both, on a short week, and it's a rivalry. It's something that could put on a Saturday night and people tune in. Bears are 1.5 favorites. Totals 45.5.
Now, did I read this wrong? Were the Packers did the Packers open as the favorite in this game?
So I think it was the Bears open as a favorite, then it switched to the Packers. Now it's back to the Bears. So this one's moving back and forth, I think. Okay. I'll say that, and if you want to just play the money line and not deal with the points, Packers -108, Bears -112. I feel like the Bears lost their last 2 games. The one against the Lions a little more concerning than the one against the 49ers. The one against 49ers doesn't really concern me because that was just a back and forth affair kind of. I'll say this: it is really tough for me to trust the Packers, who lost 4 in a row down the stretch.
100%.
It wouldn't surprise me
but still,
it wouldn't surprise me if Green Bay won. But Chicago's kind of just got this thing about them that even though they lost to the Lions yesterday, they battled their way back in the fourth quarter, so they're never out of it. I would consider the Bears money line, but I'm probably staying away from this one.
I would lay the 1.5 with the Bears, and I think that's my favorite play of this slate.
Lay the 1.5. I'm going to consider the Bears money line as we go here. Next up on this one, we move to Sunday. Bills Jaguars. Bills 1.5 road favorites, total 51.5 here. Our buddy Joe Serralo put it best last night. He doesn't think that the Bulls should be Bills. Get one of the B teams right. Should be favored at all because it's Josh Allen or bust. Where the Jaguars are actually a good team. They've won 9 in a row and all that. And I think this is going to be the most exciting game of the weekend. I don't have a side here. I would play the over 51.5 if I was taking anything.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's a big number, 51.5, but that should be an offensive shootout. If you're taking the Bills in this game, you're betting on Josh Allen. That's really all it is. Like you're just taking the best quarterback in the tournament, which I think is a reasonable play more often than not. And
I will say this: if there was ever a year that Josh Allen was just going to put the team on his back and carry them all the way into the Super Bowl, this is the year to do it. You have no Mahomes. You have no Lamar Jackson, who's capable of being a magician in these playoff games. I know you're not home, but let's face it. The Broncos are dominant, but they have a lot of games that could have easily gone the other way. They've proven it. They split with the Patriots this year. They've shown they can hang with these teams. Now they just got to go and do it. That's why I'm staying away because I like the Jaguars here, but I think it does go.
But I'm also concerned about Josh Allen's health, though. I mean, I know that Trubisky played yesterday in their finale, so. They're trying to, ease up on Josh Allen's workload heading into the playoffs, but I'm very concerned with that. Everything about this game screams stay away to me, but if I were going to lean one side or the other, I think the Jags are the better team from 1 to 53, but I'm just not betting against Josh Allen, so I'm just staying away.
All right, we move on to the Sunday late game, the late afternoon game. 49ers at Eagles. Eagles 4.5-point home favorites, total 45.5. You touched on the theme earlier. It's the top-notch 49ers offense versus the top-notch for Eagles defense, and we'll see what happens on the other side of the ball. I mean, if I had a lean in this one, it would probably be the 49ers with points. I don't know if I'm making that an official pick yet, but I do. If I was going to lean one way, that's the way.
Yeah, I'll make that a pick. 49ers plus the 4.5.
All right.
I could see the Niners winning the game outright, but even if they don't, it's more than 3, and I could certainly see the Eagles just pulling this one out of their rear end. So
I also think there's, the 49ers haven't forgotten about when Brock Purdy got hurt very early in that game in Philadelphia, and the game was essentially over. I think they haven't forgot that, and they want to prove. And again, to go 12-5 despite all the injuries they dealt with, no Brandon Ayuk the whole season. No, again, that says something to me. And in the toughest division in football, and it's not even close. Sunday night game, Chargers at the Patriots. Patriots 3.5-point favorites, total 46.5. I'm staying away from this one. I could see an argument in the world of the Chargers keep it close. I do think the Patriots win, but that hook bothers me a little bit there, so I'm just not touching this one.
Yeah, I would agree. If I were going to go one way or the other, I'd probably lean towards laying the points with the Patriots, but I'm staying away from this one.
And then finally, Monday Night Football, the Houston Texans 3.5-point road favorites at the Steelers, total 39.5. I would love to say the under, but the way that second half went with Baltimore-Pittsburgh last night, I know the Texans defense probably wouldn't let up anything like that, but that would concern me. But the Texans laying 3.5, that's probably one of the ones I'm going to make an official pick here when we wrap things up.
I tend to agree, but man, 3.5 is a lot on the road. I don't know. I lean Texans as well, but I think I'm going to stay away from this one.
All right. So what I've got down for you is Bears to take the point, play the 1.5, the 49ers with the points 4.5, and the over Rams Carolina 46.5. Is that an official one for your third one?
Rams Panthers over, Bears laying the 1.5, and Niners getting 4.5.
All right. So those are your picks. I'm gonna make for my official picks here. I'm gonna tail you with the 49ers 4.5. I'm gonna take the Texans to cover 3.5. And I love that. I talked up the Rams a lot to cover the 10.5. I almost like to pick 4 because I like all 4 of these. Buffalo, Jacksonville over 51.5. Yeah. If I gotta get rid of one of those, I'd probably get rid of the Rams of those 3. But I do feel strongly about it, but I like the other 3 better.
It's just such a big number. That's the problem with that game. It's a huge number. If it was like, yeah, you could put the Rams in a teaser leg, I guess, if you wanted to
Yeah,
do that and get it down to like, Rams -4.5.
now you're talking. I would say so. My 3 picks will be Buffalo, Jacksonville over 51.5. Both agree on the 49ers 4.5, and I got the Texans laying the 3.5 on Monday Night Football. So we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going to close the show here. Let's build out our brackets here. All right, so we're up on the screen, and this was the Week 18 results, courtesy of PlayoffPredictors.com. Love the site. Use it every week during the season to forecast the final rounds here. So let's do your bracket first. So you got the Texans winning, you got the Patriots winning. Who do we got? We can come back to that if you want.
Well, let's come back to that. Let's do the NFC first. I'll take the Rams winning. I'll take the Niners winning. That's probably more of a betting with my heart than my head situation, and I'll take the Bears.
All right, so there we go. So your last one here to get to the second round, my man.
I hate that I'm picking against Josh Allen, but I'm going to take the Jaguars.
All year long, I thought the Bills would make a run through an AFC, but I think the Jaguars draw might be the one they didn't want. Like the Steelers, I would have picked them. I might have even considered them against the Patriots. I think the Jaguars were the worst draw for them.
Yeah.
Moving on to round 2, we got Patriots, Jaguars, Texans, Broncos.
I'm going to take the Jaguars against the Patriots.
I would do the same.
I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take the Broncos against the Texans.
All right.
And on the NFC side, I will go. I want that Rams Seahawks NFC Championship game rematch so badly.
There we go. And I of those matchups, I would agree with you. I would take the Texans over the Broncos in that one. We'll see how my bracket shakes down. Conference championship. What do we got? Is it going to be Broncos Seahawks like you alluded to?
No, it's not. I'm going to take the Broncos to beat the Jaguars. I'm going to take the Rams. I go back to that Thursday night game a few weeks ago. The Rams should have won that game.
Listen, I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC personally. And then we got Rams and the Broncos here, which would be a fantastic matchup.
That would be a great Super Bowl, and I think I'm going to take the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Dude, I might be there with you. I might be a different path, but I do like the Rams this year. I know they lost a couple on the road at the end, but I they've looked very strong all year, and I could see Matthew Stafford potentially walking off at the sunset. Never know. All right, my turn to play. Make a bracket here. So Breed. Yeah, I can't try. I don't trust Justin Herbert. I think they're going to win outright. I don't know. I hate picking against the Eagles because I think they're a strong team. But yeah, we're going to have very similar NFCs, I think. Yeah, I said they're going to, I'm going to stick with that. I think Jacksonville's the better team. I really want to pick them here. It's not a good matchup for Buffalo. Defense, it's just Trevor Lawrence. It seems like Liam Cohen has finally unlocked Trevor Lawrence. I got to do it. We're going to have like similar. No, we're not because I'm taking them.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Boom. I would love to
and take the upset.
I would love to take the 49ers on the road here. I just don't think they can. I think the Seahawks they know how to. Because remember that week 1 matchup, the Niners pulled that one out of their butts. So like that was a Seahawks very easily could have won. Yes, I have got a Texans Rams Super Bowl, which I believe was a week 1 matchup. Yeah, I got the Rams over the Texans in the Super Bowl. There we go. I think the defense carries them. I can't believe that I am backing CJ Stroud, an Ohio State quarterback, to go that far, but I just think the defense is that good, and they give teams that many fits.
I mean, I completely get it. I get not wanting to trust Bo Nix. I get not wanting to trust Sam Darnold. I get not wanting to trust so many guys. And like we talked about this all year, of feeling like so many of these teams are frauds, but like at some point, like somebody's got to be legitimate. So,
I mean, you look at their losses this year: 14-9 to the Rams week 1. They lose to a Buccaneers that they pulled that out of their butts at the end. They lose to the Jaguars on the road, which they split with them, so there's no shame in that. And then they lose to the Seahawks on the road. No shame in that. And then they just win out the rest of the season.
Must be nice. It must be nice to have to be a winning team.
Now, what is that again? Winning team?
Yeah, winning team. Something neither one of us would know about when it comes to football.
You know what it is? And I said this to my buddy Pete. It's like, I would just like to be, I'm not greedy. I just want to be able to text a fellow friend that I talk about football with. I would love to be able to send the text sometime after Halloween to be like, I'm excited for the Jets game Sunday. That's all I want. I just want that.
You know, I'm going to take the show to a dark place right now. It's like when you're 19 and it's like, you know, I'm not asking to get laid. It's just like, could I maybe get a handy in the back seat? Like, could I get that?
Yeah. I'm not even like, I just want to be able to turn a game on around Thanksgiving and be like, all right, listen, it's not looking good for the Jets, but hey, if they win today, they're still alive. Or hey, they probably won't win, but they've been playing tough lately. Give me something. Give me something. Come on now.
So basically, we have sports blue balls.
I mean, the Rangers, for me, no, the Yankees, yeah, I guess. I mean, I live in the Bay Area. I watch a lot of Sharks hockey now. At least I got that going. At least they're an exciting young team. I'm going to like another game on Saturday against Dallas. That should be a good one. But yeah, at least that would be nice. Now, RipNRiff@gmail.com. Want to reach out to the show for any reason? Suggest some packs, or maybe want to rip alongside us, no problem. We did not talk any hockey today, but we will get back to it next week for sure. AllAboutTheJersey.com is where you can find Jared's Devils content. What do you got going on there for you coming up, Arnold?
I'm actually skipping this week because I figure with all the poker stuff going on that this would be a good week to skip. But I wrote a lot of stuff last week, so go back and read it.
Speaking of poker stuff, all the shorts can be found at Jared Moore Poker. As for myself, you can catch Total Hockey Now back on Thursdays after the holiday schedule a little bit. We were with you New Year's Day. We'll be back with you January 8th. We'll be reacting to Canada's roster. You can go back and watch that. We will react to the rest of the rosters this weekend, give you our picks for Thursday night. We'll talk a little fantasy as well. I believe we're going to be discussing who we think can bounce back for the remainder of the season that maybe was a little bit of an underachiever to start the season. We're in the NFL playoffs, which is good and bad because that means NFL season's done, I guess. I guess we should just enjoy these next few weeks here.
Yeah, you enjoy it because once we hit the middle of February, it's a long way until more of it.
And this is so we'll have Saturday, Sunday football for a couple more weekends, but then that's it after that. So enjoy that. So at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts Adam Bernard with you with an all-new episode of Rip N Riff to discuss the NFL divisional card round and some hockey next week. So Rip N Riff. Thanks for watching, everyone.